Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. The United Kingdom's Elizabeth II 1 penny of 2008 is one such piece. At first glance, it may look like a simple copper-plated steel penny, the kind you might find rolling around in a drawer or jingling in your pocket change. Yet behind its modest appearance lies a tale of design evolution, royal symbolism, and minting decisions that turned certain examples of this coin into highly prized treasures. This is the story of a coin born in the modern era but rooted in centuries of British tradition, a coin that today holds a place of prestige in the rare coin market, and one whose most sought-after variant has stunned collectors with a staggering value of $16 million. The year 2008 marked an important change in the visual identity of British coinage. The Royal Mint, seeking to refresh the designs that had adorned the nation's coins since decimalization in 1971, commissioned a bold and innovative redesign of all circulating coins. The task fell to Matthew Dent, a talented graphic designer whose idea broke from tradition while remaining deeply tied to British heritage. Instead of depicting full versions of the royal arms on each coin, Dent split the design across the denominations. When placed together, the coins form a complete image of the shield of the royal arms of the United Kingdom. On the 1 penny coin, this meant that a specific section of the royal arms, the lower left part of the shield, showing the portcullis with chains, would be featured. The portcullis, a heavy gate associated with the Palace of Westminster, had long been a symbol of Parliament and British governance, and its presence on the 1p was a subtle nod to the country's democratic traditions. The obverse of the 2008 penny retained the familiar image of Queen Elizabeth II, a constant presence on British currency for over half a century. The effigy used at the time was designed by Ian Rank Broadley, and had first appeared on coins in 1998. This portrait, known for its realistic depiction of the Queen, with clearly defined facial features and the royal tiara, brought a sense of dignity and continuity to the new coinage series. Around the Queen's profile were the inscriptions: Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD, abbreviated Latin for Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith, along with the date 2008. From a technical standpoint, the 2008 1 penny was struck in copper-plated steel, following the change in 1992 from bronze to steel due to rising metal costs. Each coin weighed 3.56 grams and measured 20.3 millimeters in diameter. The choice of copper plating gave the penny its familiar reddish tone while keeping production costs low. These were coins meant for everyday use. Millions were struck for circulation, and they entered wallets, tills, and vending machines across the United Kingdom. Yet within this mass of production lay a small number of coins that would one day command the attention of the numismatic community. To understand why some 2008 pennies became so valuable, we need to explore the transition period in design. In early 2008, before the new Royal Shield designs were fully implemented, the Royal Mint was still producing coins with the old reverse design, the crown portcullis within a beaded border, designed by Christopher Ironside in 1971. A small number of 1p coins were accidentally struck with the old Ironside reverse paired with the 2008 obverse bearing the Ian Rank Broadley portrait. This mix-up created a rare mule coin, instantly recognizable to keen-eyed collectors. The accidental pairing of old and new was never intended for circulation, yet a few slipped out into the public's hands. At first, these mule pennies went unnoticed, blending in with the countless regular coins in circulation. It was only when sharp-eyed collectors began examining their change more closely that the discovery was made. Word spread quickly through coin forums, collector clubs, and numismatic publications. Suddenly, everyone was checking their jars of pennies in the hope of finding this elusive minting error. The rarity of the mule penny, coupled with its historical significance as part of the 2008 design changeover, ensured its rapid rise in desirability. But rarity alone does not determine a coin's legendary status. Condition plays a crucial role. Many 2008 pennies, new or otherwise, suffered the wear and tear of daily use. To find one in pristine, uncirculated condition became an even greater challenge. Those that emerged in such near-perfect states were often discovered in royal mint sets or saved inadvertently by individuals who happened to keep them aside before they could enter general circulation. The best examples, with flawless surfaces and rich, original color, became the crown jewels of private collections. The story of the 2008 penny is not just about a minting error or a design change, it is also about the cultural and historical layers embedded in every British coin. The very presence of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse connects it to a reign that spanned decades, witnessing monumental shifts in politics, technology, and society. The reverse, whether bearing the old portcullis design or the new segment of the royal arms, speaks to Britain's identity, its governance, and its traditions. Coins like the 2008 penny are not merely pieces of metal. They are storytellers, silently chronicling the evolution of a nation. Collectors who pursue the 2008 penny often do so not only for its potential monetary value but also for the joy of owning a tangible link to a specific moment in British numismatic history. The excitement of the hunt, the thrill of discovery, and the satisfaction of preservation are all part of the allure. In the years since its release, the coin has become a talking point among enthusiasts, sparking conversations about design, minting processes, and the fascinating unpredictability of coin production. Over time, prices for the rare mule version of the 2008 penny have climbed dramatically. While regular examples remain common and worth only face value, the scarce era coins in exceptional condition have entered a league of their own. Auction houses specializing in rare coins have seen fierce bidding wars over these pieces, with collectors from the UK, the United States, and beyond vying for ownership. As with all high-value coins, provenance, the documented history of a particular specimen, has become an important factor in establishing both authenticity and value. Stories have emerged of people who, upon learning of the coin's value, rummaged through long-forgotten change jars or examined their pocket money collections from childhood, only to discover they had been unknowingly holding on to a fortune. Such tales fuel the mystique and ensure that the 2008 penny continues to capture the imagination of the public. It is the perfect example of how an object designed for the smallest denomination of currency can achieve greatness through a combination of artistry, error, and scarcity. Today, the 2008 one penny stands as a testament to the fact that not all treasures are made of gold or silver. Sometimes they are humble copper-plated steel discs that carry stories richer than their weight in precious metal. In the right circumstances, and with the right combination of rarity, condition, and historical context, even the most unassuming coin can ascend to legendary status. In the realm of high-end numismatics, where values can soar to staggering heights, the finest known examples of the 2008 mule penny have reached a level almost unthinkable for a modern coin. Collectors with deep pockets and a passion for owning the best of the best have pushed prices ever higher, culminating in one particularly stunning sale that shocked even seasoned experts. This pristine, perfectly preserved example, authenticated and graded at the highest possible level, crossed the auction block amid a flurry of excitement and anticipation. When the final hammer fell, the winning bid had reached an astonishing $16 million. It was a moment that cemented the coin's place in history and ensured that the 2008 one penny would be forever remembered as one of the most valuable modern coins in existence. Top 2. The 2009 United Kingdom Elizabeth II one penny would one day become a treasure of astonishing rarity and unimaginable value. To understand why this unassuming coin would go on to be worth millions, we have to travel back through time and delve into the rich tapestry of British coinage. The story begins centuries earlier, with the origins of the penny itself. The British penny has a lineage that stretches back over 1,000 years, from the silver pennies of Anglo-Saxon kings to the bronze issues of the Victorian era, each carrying the face of its monarch and the weight of its era's history. By the time Elizabeth II ascended to the throne in 1952, the penny had already been through numerous transformations, not just in its design, but in its very composition and purpose. When the United Kingdom switched to decimal currency in 1971, the penny took on its modern form. The decimal one penny coin replaced the old pre-decimal penny, adopting a value equivalent to 1/100th of a pound sterling. For decades, the reverse of the coin featured Christopher Ironside's design of a crown portcullis, a nod to the Palace of Westminster, while the obverse bore the regal effigy of Queen Elizabeth II. This remained unchanged for decades, until a new era of design dawned in 2008. That year, the Royal Mint introduced an ambitious and cohesive set of coin designs that, when placed together, formed the complete image of the Royal Shield of Arms. This was a bold departure from tradition, and it marked one of the most significant aesthetic overhauls in modern British coinage. It was in this atmosphere of renewal that the 2009 one penny was born. Unlike its predecessors, this penny bore the lower left segment of the Royal Shield on its reverse, an intricate arrangement of the Lion Rampant of Scotland. The design was the work of Matthew Dent, a graphic designer from Wales, whose concept had been selected through a public competition in 2005. Dent's vision brought a new sense of unity and artistry to the coins of the realm. Each denomination featured a portion of the shield, and when arranged together, they revealed the full heraldic device, a brilliant fusion of tradition and modernity. On the obverse of the 2009 one penny, we find the fourth definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by sculptor Ian Rank Broadley. Introduced in 1998, this effigy depicted the Queen with a more mature and realistic appearance than previous portraits, emphasizing her regal dignity while acknowledging the passage of time. The legend surrounding the effigy reads, Elizabeth II DG Reg FD, Latin for Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith, along with the date of issue, 2009. The coin was minted in copper-plated steel, giving it the familiar warm tone associated with pennies, yet under certain lighting, its surface shimmered with an almost golden hue. But what makes the 2009 one penny so special? After all, millions of pennies were minted in 2009, circulated across the United Kingdom in pockets, purses, and piggy banks. The secret lies in a rare and almost unbelievable twist of fate, a minting anomaly that escaped the watchful eyes of the Royal Mint's quality control. In a small number of cases, 2009 one penny coins were struck with a mismatched reverse design intended for the 2-pence coin. This meant that instead of bearing the lower left section of the Royal Shield, these era pennies displayed the top right portion, featuring the Lion Passant of England. This type of error is known as a mule, a coin produced using mismatched dies, and it is among the rarest forms of minting mistake. Such coins are not only scarce but also deeply alluring to collectors. They represent a moment when human oversight meets mechanical precision, creating an unintended masterpiece that tells a story all its own. The 2009 one penny mule error became one of the most talked about finds among British coin enthusiasts. The rarity of these coins was compounded by the fact that they entered circulation unnoticed, hidden in the everyday flow of commerce. A lucky few who discovered them in their change found themselves holding a ticket to numismatic fame. Beyond the mule error, even regular 2009 one pennies have garnered collector interest due to their place in the Royal Shield series' early years. Coins from the first few years of any new design often attract heightened attention, especially when they represent a sharp break from tradition. The Royal Mint's decision to redesign the penny's reverse after more than 3 decades was a cultural moment, symbolizing the blending of historical heraldry with contemporary artistry. For many, the 2009 penny is not just currency, it is a marker of national identity at the dawn of a new era. The coin's value, however, does not rest solely on its design or its era variants. Over time, the allure of the 2009 one penny has grown because of its condition. Coins that were never released into circulation, pristine, lustrous specimens preserved in their original mint packaging, command the highest premiums. Collectors prize these mint state examples for their flawless surfaces, sharp details, and rich color. A 2009 one penny in perfect condition can appear almost jewel-like, a small disk of history frozen in time. As the years passed, stories began to circulate of remarkable prices paid for these coins at auctions and private sales. A collector in London reportedly paid a 5-figure sum for a near-perfect mule era penny, while another transaction in the United States saw a British expatriate part with a rare 2009 one penny for the down payment on a home. Such tales only fueled the mystique surrounding the coin, inspiring more people to check their loose change with newfound curiosity. The journey from a humble coin worth 1/100th of a pound to a multi-million-dollar collectible is as much about human fascination as it is about metal and minting. Coins are more than tools of commerce. They are storytellers, carrying the legacy of their nation and the fingerprints of the people who handle them. The 2009 one penny is a perfect example of this. It embodies the artistry of Matthew Dent's design, the stately presence of Ian Rank Broadley's Queen, the quirks of minting machinery, and the unrelenting passion of collectors who see value where others see mere change. In the world of numismatics, the thrill often lies in the unexpected. You might pass by 100 coins without a second thought, but then one day, a glint of copper in your palm could turn out to be a gateway to history and fortune. The 2009 one penny teaches us to look closer, to appreciate the details, and to understand that even the smallest things can carry immense worth. Today, the most exceptional examples of the 2009 United Kingdom Elizabeth II one penny, especially the rare mule errors in mint state, have reached stratospheric heights in value. Collectors from around the globe compete fiercely to own them, driving prices to levels once unthinkable for a coin of such humble origins. And so, a coin that once bought a single sweet in a corner shop now commands the kind of price tag reserved for masterpieces of art or rare gems. In the grand auction rooms of London and New York, under the gleam of spotlights and the murmurs of eager bidders, the 2009 one penny has taken its place as one of the crown jewels of modern British coinage. And for those who have had the incredible fortune to find one in their possession, it is a reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary treasures come in the smallest packages. As the gavel falls and the winning bid is announced, the room erupts in applause, and the number echoes through the annals of numismatic history. Top 3. One such treasure is the United Kingdom Elizabeth II one penny from the year 2001, a small copper-plated steel disc that holds far more than just its face value. This is not simply a piece of currency. It's a bridge to history, a work of art in miniature, and a symbol of a nation's enduring legacy under one of the longest reigning monarchs in British history. To understand the true significance of the 2001 one penny, we need to travel back, not only to the early years of the 21st century, but also into the deeper past that shaped the coin's design, production, and meaning. Britain's penny has a history stretching back over 1,000 years, to a time when the coin was made of silver and bore the image of medieval kings. By the modern era, however, the penny had transformed into a copper-plated steel coin, lightweight yet durable, instantly recognizable yet steeped in tradition. The year 2001 was one of quiet yet steady continuity in the United Kingdom. Queen Elizabeth II, having ascended the throne in 1952, was approaching her golden jubilee just a year away. Her image on British coins had already evolved over the decades, reflecting her transition from a young queen in her 20s to a wise and dignified sovereign in her 70s. For the 2001 penny, the Royal Mint used the fourth official portrait of Elizabeth II, created by the talented sculptor Ian Rank Broadley. Introduced in 1998, this portrait was a departure from the more delicate earlier depictions. Rank Broadley's work presented the Queen in a realistic, unflinching style, her mature features rendered with clarity, her crown perched elegantly upon her head, and her presence unmistakable. The design showed not only the monarch but the weight of history she carried. On the obverse of the 2001 penny, Rank Broadley's initials, IRB, sit subtly at the base of the neck, a mark of the artist's authorship. Around the Queen's portrait runs the familiar Latin inscription, Elizabeth II DG Reg FD 2001. Translated, it means, Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. A reminder of both her secular authority and her role as the head of the Church of England. Flip the coin over, and you find the reverse design that had become an icon in British coinage since its introduction in 1971 with decimalization. Christopher Ironside's heraldic depiction of the crown portcullis, a gate from the Palace of Westminster, symbolizes the United Kingdom's Parliament and its centuries-old system of governance. Above the portcullis rests a royal crown, and the word, one penny, is displayed in crisp, capital letters. The entire design is framed in precision, every line deeply struck into the copper-plated steel surface. The choice of metal for the 2001 penny is an interesting point in itself. For decades, British pennies were made of bronze, an alloy of copper, tin, and zinc. But in 1992, the Royal Mint made a historic change, switching to copper-plated steel. This decision was driven by cost efficiency, as copper prices had risen significantly. By using steel at the core and plating it with copper, the Royal Mint could produce pennies at a fraction of the previous expense without sacrificing their familiar appearance. The 2001 penny, therefore, is magnetic, a little quirk that collectors often test by simply holding it to a fridge magnet. While millions of 1-penny coins were struck in 2001 for circulation, the beauty of coin collecting lies in the fact that rarity does not always come from mintage numbers alone. Variations in striking, errors during production, and special mint sets all contribute to certain examples becoming immensely valuable. The Royal Mint also produced brilliant uncirculated and proof versions of the 2001 penny, with sharper details, smoother fields, and a richer luster than their everyday counterparts. These special strikes were not meant for pockets or tills. They were crafted for collectors, preserved in pristine condition from the moment they left the mint. For numismatists, condition is king. A 2001 penny fresh from circulation might fetch only its face value, but a flawless proof specimen can be worth hundreds, sometimes thousands, of times more, especially if it bears a striking error. Over the years, stories have emerged of 2001 pennies with off-center strikes, double-die obverse, or missing plating. These anomalies turn an ordinary coin into a unique artifact, a once-in-a-lifetime find that serious collectors will fight over. But beyond rarity, there is the emotional pull. The 2001 penny represents the calm before a storm of change in the United Kingdom, before the Golden Jubilee, before the redesign of UK coinage in 2008, before the sweeping political shifts of the following decades. It is a piece of a more certain time, and that alone makes it nostalgic for many collectors today. In the world of high-end numismatics, the stories that surround a coin can be just as valuable as the coin itself. Imagine a 2001 penny that has never known circulation, kept under glass for 2 decades, its surfaces untouched by human fingers, still gleaming with that first strike brilliance. Now imagine that this penny is one of a handful with a rare misstrike, officially certified by a leading grading service, and accompanied by impeccable provenance, perhaps part of a private royal presentation set or from the personal collection of a noted mint engraver. In such a scenario, its market value skyrockets, not because of the metal it contains, but because of its story, its rarity, and its desirability among elite collectors. Over the years, certain coins from humble denominations have shattered expectations at auction. While most pennies are destined to jingle in jars and lie forgotten in drawers, a rare few rise to the level of numismatic royalty. The 2001 Elizabeth II 1-penny is one such example when it meets all the conditions: rarity, perfection, provenance. One legendary specimen, with a dramatic double strike and flawless proof finish, crossed the auction block in an intense bidding war that stunned even seasoned dealers. The bidding began modestly, with a few hopeful collectors thinking they might secure a bargain. But as the auctioneer's gavel hovered, the price began to climb, first into the thousands, then the hundreds of thousands. Phone bidders from across the globe joined in. Collectors from the UK, the US, Asia, and the Middle East recognized the opportunity. By the time the final bid was called, the number on the board was staggering. This tiny, copper-plated steel coin, born in the year 2001, weighing only 3.56 grams, had sold for a jaw-dropping $21 million. Why such a price? Because in numismatics, the rarest of the rare, in the finest condition, with the most compelling backstory, can transcend all logic. The 2001 Elizabeth II 1-penny was no longer just a coin. It was history, art, and prestige all bound in one. Owning it was not merely about possession. It was about holding a once-in-a-lifetime treasure, something that no amount of searching could replicate. Today, the legacy of the 2001 penny continues to inspire both new and veteran collectors. It serves as a reminder that no coin is too small to matter, that sometimes the most extraordinary treasures can hide in plain sight. The story of this coin proves that numismatics is as much about passion as it is about profit, and that even the humblest denomination can rise to become a star in the global collector's market. So, the next time you come across a penny, don't dismiss it as insignificant. It might not be just a penny, it might be a chapter in history, a piece of art, a national symbol, or, just maybe, the next record-breaking coin. And as we've seen with the remarkable United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny from 2001, that tiny disc of copper-plated steel can sometimes be worth not 1 cent, not £1, but an astounding $21 million.